everyone, it's Karen Bentley with the Recovery Superpower channel, where we revolutionize the recovery process by taking your dependency and literally transforming it into power, superpower. It's like Rumpelstiltskin. You remember the fairy tale story who took straw and spun it into gold? We're going to take your shite and spin it into gold. It's very exciting, very innovative, and very creative. And we do it together. That's what makes it fun. Thank you for tuning in and for spending some time with me. Today we're going to be talking about something really, really different, something you've never heard before. And it's about the life force that's around us and in everything around us, and the life force that's in us, and how those two forces relate to each other, and what difference does it make, or how does that have anything to do with dependencies anyway? But before we get to that, I'd like to quickly remind you that I'm the author of this super book, The Power to Stop. It's a 30-day program for ending any dependency, or alternatively, it's 30 great ideas for stopping yourself. You can get it at Amazon or any bookstore, and I've got a link below. Check it out if it's calling your name. It would be a help to me. So today we're going to be talking about the life force in general. So let's look at my picture that I've drawn here. These straight lines, this is my rendition. I'm not an artist, so you just have to use your imagination a little bit. The straight lines are supposed to be the life force in general, and this oval cocoon type shape with these squiggly lines, that's anybody with a dependency. So it's a comparison of the energy that's in the life force and the energy in a person with a dependency. And right away you can see that the energy looks different. Before we talk about the differences more specifically, we know that this kind of energy configuration is somewhat similar to my picture because we get the information from seers. A seer, S-E-E-R, is someone who sees beyond the physical realm or sees through the physical realm directly to energy. So seers see these, they call them emanations. Some seers call them emanations. Some seers call them the great rays. Some seers call them filaments of life or strands of creation. There's many different names for this force. I'm going to use the term emanations because I just like that term. There's no other reason. You can use whatever term you like or no term at all. So the life force has these very alive, vibrant, luminous filaments that are all around us, filaments and emanations. And the filaments never break, they never go crazy, they never stop. They're not stronger on some people or some things and lesser on others. They're consistent, they're equal, they just are all the time. That is the life force. There's nothing you can do to draw more life force attention to you. There's nothing you can do to turn the life force off. It's just constant. It's immutable. It's unchangeable. That is the life force that's all around us. Now look at the energy that's in a person with a dependency. So the energy that's in a person with a dependency is all squiggled up. It's all excited. It's frenetic, kinetic. It's contracted. It's coiled. It's pinging. It's going every which way. It doesn't have a direction. It doesn't have a purpose. It's just all jumbled up. It's trying like crazy to escape from this cocoon or this sheath or whatever you want to call it. It's also got the same luminous, vibrant qualities, but the qualities can't be appreciated because there's too much going on. And so they get lost sort of in the jumble of excitement that's always happening. And I call this process of trying to break free from the cocoon the impulse to self-destruct. Because when you have this kind of energy configuration going on inside you, you feel scared. You feel anxious, constant underlying anxiety. You feel empty. You feel jumpy. You feel like maybe something bad is going to happen. So, those are all really good reasons to want to escape. The thing is that action isn't what's going to help this situation at all. You've already tried every action possible. You know, every action possible has been tried and it's not working. So, buddy, what are we going to do about this? We need to try something different to align ourselves with the force. When we align ourselves with the force, number one, the impulse to self-destruct it goes away. So that's a huge benefit. And so there's no need for a dependency. That maybe it's like a little nagging thing in the background, but it pretty much goes away too. And all that craziness, it goes away. You don't feel that anxiety and emptiness in your life anymore because you're going with the force. The Star Wars movie made it very popular to say, "May the force be with you." But the force is always here. It's always available. It can always be with you, but we are not always with the force. So it's better to say, "May you be with the force." So what you want to do is align yourself with the force so that your energy looks more like this. This is energy that's more aligned with the force. So we can see that there's still some waves here and it's not completely perfect, but it's in the flow. It's going with the life force. There's no need to escape. Everything's okay. You're with it. You're in the groove. So our mission is to go from this to something more like this. And we're going to do it by doing nothing. We're already trying everything there is to try, and it's not working. So now we're going to try something new. We're going to do nothing so that we can calm ourselves down. That's your whole mission here. Calm this energy down. So imagine if you're having all this contracted energy. Imagine if you were holding an abdominal crunch your whole life. That's contracted energy. If you're like this the whole time and your teeth are like holding it like this the whole time, that's your contraction. I mean, that's literally how you're holding your life energy in this huge contraction. And it's hard and it's painful and it's tiring. And, you just want it to stop because it's bad. So once you release that contraction and the coiling and the pinging, life just automatically gets easier because you're going with the force. And the way that we're going to do this is an overriding strategy of calming yourself down, or if you prefer the terminology of being at peace. I like calming down because it's much more directive, but you may prefer the words peace. But for today's exercise, we're going to talk about calming ourselves down. That's your number one goal. Calm yourselves down. There are many tools for calming yourself down. I've already given you two. It's the tool of meditation, and I'm saying meditation with a D, not medication with a C. And it's the tool of mindfulness. And I have videos on both of those practices, and I'll put them in the description below, and you can check them out if you haven't seen it already. So we already know that those are two tools that are going to calm us down, that are going to help take our energy from this crazy contracted spiral state to this go with the flow state where the dependencies disappear and the impulse to self-destruct disappears along with it. So those are two tools. There are other tools. The third one that I'd like to introduce you to is the concept of harmlessness, or doing no harm to yourself, doing no harm to others, doing no harm to our planet. Of course, here on planet Earth, we Earthlings have a predicament because we can't be 100% harmless all the time. We have to eat to stay alive. We have to dress appropriately for the weather. We have to live in a structure. We have to get from point A to point B. We have to use resources. We have to do this to stay alive. So we can't be 100% harmless here on Earth. But we can be aware that it's a movement that we want to go towards. and we can be aware that we can minimize our harmfulness as much as possible. And this is particularly true in our relationships, where we are using anger and guilt and pitching fits and shunning and bribing and everything else we can think of to get people to do what we want. That is a lot of harm that isn't normally recognized as harm, but that's a lot of harm in our relationships that we can just completely let go of. And once you eliminate that drama from your life, it's like a big exhale. You're not contracted. You're not tense. You're not worrying. You're not scaring yourself. You're not scaring other people. You're just finally enjoying your life. So there are many tools, sub-tools for becoming harmless. I've identified 6 of them, and we'll go through them in another video. It's too much today to do it at one time because it will make this video way too long. And I'd rather hold your interest and have you come back for more than bore you to death with the 6 harmless practices for becoming 6 practices for becoming harmless. But that's coming up soon. So don't forget, the first practice that I gave you is meditation. The second one is mindfulness. The third is the overriding strategy of harmlessness. And all those things, and there's some other tools too that I haven't gotten to, all those things are going to take this crazy energy and tame it and make it look more like this so that you're going with the flow, not against it. When you go with the flow, the impulse to self-destruct disappears, and the dependency goes into your background, hardly ever noticeable, and just isn't a problem in your life anymore. So those are the great benefits. I hope you'll come back and take the 6 different lessons on how to become harmless in our world, and especially in your relationships. And if you're really into this concept, I love to frame the stopping process and the idea of harmlessness around the mission to become a warrior. W-A-R-R-I-O-R, not warrior, warrior. A harmless warrior in the world whose warriors in general fight battles, but a harmless warrior fights the only worthy battle, which is to win over the impulse to self-destruct. And to me, framing it as a warrior it just adds some nobility. It adds great depth and meaning for me personally. You don't have to do this to stop yourself. It's completely optional. It's you can stop yourself without becoming a warrior, but for me, I love it, and it just elevates me. And if it does that for you, please consider my Warriors Apprentice Bootcamp here in New Hampshire, where I live. We go into it very deeply. We bond, we have a great time, and we're warriors together on this magnificent path of power, baby. So if you like this content, smash the like button. If you'd like to see me show up on your homepage when you sign into YouTube, subscribe, and come back. I can't wait to be with you again. Bye for now.